welcome to my Personal Finances PodCat, episode 8, where I'm going to interview Robin from HelloGold. Hi PodCats, today we are at HelloGold office, and we have here today Robin, who is the co-founder and CEO of HelloGold. Hi Robin.
Hi there, welcome to our office in KL.
Thank you. So what is driving gold investment globally, and why should Malaysians consider investing in gold?
Well, I think that there are two themes about gold investment. One is the long run and the long history of gold, and the other is kind of in the shorter term, what's happening in the global markets and the global economies over the next 1 to 2 years. So first off, in the long run, right, gold is one of the longest dated assets in the world, and historically it has always performed around the rate of local inflation, which means that the amount of gold that you save today will be worth and will enable you to buy the same kind of stuff that you can buy today in 10, 20, 30 years time, and that's always been the case, which means that it's a great hedge against inflation, and particularly for our customers in HelloGold, it's oftentimes a better product than just putting it in cash in an on-demand savings account earning zero or very little interest. But more importantly to a lot of your listeners, gold is entering an interesting part of the economic cycle because you see a lot of risks around the world, what's happening in America, what's happening in Hong Kong now, Brexit, the tension in the Middle East. All these things typically point to an uptick in gold prices. And I think that these tensions in all the different parts of the world will only serve to drive gold prices up in the short term being 12 to 24 months.
There's viewpoint held by some, including Warren Buffett, that gold has a limited practical value and it doesn't generate much returns. What do you think of that?
Well, yes, absolutely. Warren Buffett and a number of other investors are well known to have said things like this. But I would point to a few other facts. I mean, the fact is that most central banks and a lot of sovereign wealth funds around the world own gold. It is their go-to asset beyond holding reserves in other currencies, whether it's US dollar, Japanese yen, etc. And a lot of family offices also own gold. So, if governments, the ultimate trustees of a nation's wealth, and ultra high net worth, of which clearly Warren Buffett is one, but he's not the only one, own gold, then, they can't be that wrong. So it is true that gold does not generate a yield. But you can get a return from gold. The return from gold is the appreciation of gold against currencies. And if you look at gold's performance against many currencies in the long run, it has always outperformed currencies. Or you flip it around, you find that actually currencies tend to lose its value over time. And that is true for most major currencies over the last 100 years.
So how is HelloGold different and similar as compared to other gold investment options?
That's a great question. At a 30,000 feet level, we're all much less. We offer the same kind of product, which is investment grade gold. But what HelloGold does is a number of key things that are relatively unique in this space. First off, the gold that we have is allocated, which means that the gold is physically stored in a vault, and more importantly, the gold is held in our customer's name. So it's not held in our name. It is similar to, in many ways, an analogy I usually use, which is that if you buy a piece of gold and you put it in a safe deposit box, whatever's inside the safe deposit box belongs to you. Mm-hmm. But the safe deposit box itself doesn't belong to you. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of allocated. That's in your name. No one else can touch it. Not all gold investment products are created equal. There's some that are unallocated. Unallocated means that I owe you the gold. Mm-hmm. I may not necessarily have the gold physically in my vault. It may be there, it may not be there, but it's not in your name, it's in my name, which mm-hmm. means that if anything were to happen to me as a business, you rank as a creditor. Now, HelloGold's gold being allocated means that no matter what happens to HelloGold as a business, that gold belongs to you, the customer. And that's very, very important. The fund that I used to be CFO of in New York uses only allocated gold, which means it's completely safe. The other thing I think that's most important for us is our value proposition. We offer a product at the minimum investment size of just 1 ringgit through a mobile phone on a 24/7 basis, which means that no matter where you are, literally anywhere around the world, so long as you're a HelloGold customer and so long as you have a mobile phone and it's fully charged and you have a signal, you can buy gold for as low as 1 ringgit at a time. And that is an incredibly valuable proposition for many of our customers because it's not just convenient and accessible, but it's also affordable. You can just decide, I have to spare 2 ringgit, 1 ringgit, 1 ringgit 50 cents, I buy some gold today.
So how does HelloGold justify the 2% being charged?
Right. I think it's quite straightforward, really. If you look at the HelloGold proposition and what we're set out to do, we're set out to provide financial products for the man in the street, in contrast to many traditional providers. And for many traditional providers, a lot of products that they offer, the fee may come across as very low. It could be like 0.5%, but the minimum fee, but it will be structured like the minimum fee of 10 ringgit or 0.5%, which means that if you're only buying 1 ringgit, you can end up paying 10 ringgit worth of costs. For us, there's no minimum. You can buy 1 ringgit and we're effectively going to charge you 2 cents. So the cost and the expensiveness of our product is a function of how much you buy. For sure, if you buy 100,000 ringgit worth of gold through us, we're pretty expensive. In fact, I would say if you buy 100,000 ringgit worth of gold, you're probably better off buying the gold from the fund I used to run, GLD. Go to a local stockbroker and then buy it on the New York Stock Exchange. It's the most liquid fund in the world. But if you only have 1 ringgit, 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit, 2% is not expensive. If you think about mutual funds, for example, there's usually a minimum fee. There's upfront buying costs, then you've got your bid ask, then you've got your annual management fee. It all gets loaded up. Ours is very, very transparent. And that's why we feel that what we do is actually priced accordingly for the markets that we're trying to serve. We're not here to serve the more fortunate, the people that have access to private bankers and wealth managers because they can cut better deals. We're here to serve the bulk of the economy that does not have the chance to invest in these funds.
So what lies ahead for the future of HelloGold?
Well, it's pretty exciting for us. We're entering into a pretty interesting space over the next 12 months. We just launched in Thailand in June this year. We are prepping for a launch in Indonesia. My guess is that we'll be up and running by the end of Q1 next year. We are also busy looking at creating other financial products. Hopefully, with the right kind of licenses approved, we will want them to offer a money market fund, again for 1 ringgit ticket size.
Just share a bit more about the money market funds plans.
Well, okay. First off, it's subject to regulatory approval. Obviously, to launch a money market fund, you need to be an asset manager and you need to have a prospectus that's approved by the Securities Commission. So we still have a long ways to go before we can launch the product. Having said all that, conceptually, what we want the fund to provide is a minimum investment size of 1 ringgit, just like our gold product, but this will enable our customers to put money in overnight rates. As you know, for a lot of people in Malaysia, they find it terribly hard to put enough money to get access to a fixed deposit. The central bank has said that 70% of Malaysians don't feel comfortable that they have 1,000 ringgit for an emergency. What we want to do is to enable our customers to have access to the same kind of products that wealth management clients and private banking clients have. And one of those is a money market fund. And we want to do that, again, through a mobile phone on a 24/7 basis.
What is the one big audacious habit or goal that you want our audience to focus on?
I think it's very clear, right? In Malaysia, everyone says that people don't save enough. I think with the platforms like HelloGold and others like us, you now have the ability to save with very little amount of money at any given point in time. And I think it's never too early to start to save. I think everyone should try to save as much as they can, as often as they can, from as young as they can, because then you'll be able to have the ability to save towards your financial goals.
Thank you, podcast, for listening. You can find the show notes and more information on our website, mypf.my/podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next week. Hasta pronto.
Okay, I think from the let me start.
Yeah.